Euroa is a small town of about 3,000 people in central Victoria in the Strathbogie Shire. I love Euroa because it has a real community feel. I feel like it's a really great place to raise a young family. I love the sort of bush and natural setting.
Everyone is welcoming, everyone is happy.
In a small country town, the world really revolves around the local netball and football clubs, and these spaces are so important. It makes the town feel alive and it makes people feel connected to where they live.
The Greening Euroa project started because we experienced about 10 years of drought, and there was nowhere for people to comfortably play sport or retreat during the hot summer months.
About 3 or 4 years ago, Euroa itself actually nearly ran out of potable water. We had no water in the creek, none of the sporting fields, and they were already tankering in potable water for the town to actually drink, let alone keep anything green.
We just had insufficient water to keep up to all our sporting grounds around the area.
As you can see behind me, it's early December and we're dry already, so imagine what it's going to look like in mid-January. It becomes very loose and quite dangerous.
So consequently, if you're fielding a cricket ball, God bless you.
The issue really was, I guess, the drought to start with, but then the community identified that we did have this surplus of water available to be pumped in and circulated around the town.
3 years ago, I called some people who I thought would be interested in looking at the feasibility of bringing water back from the sewage farm with a view to greening our community. 3 years down the track, we've got a partnership with Goulburn Valley Water, who run the treatment facility. And when we first approached them, they told us that they'd been told by the EPA that they needed to come up with a solution. And lo and behold, we provided it. And it was just a magic moment.
Euroa has a sewage system that goes to a waste management facility, and we get somewhere between 200 and 250 megalitres per year. And 1 megalitre is 1 million litres, or approximately 50 metre swimming pools.
From the wastewater treatment plant at the far end of town, the plan is to run it through a purple pipeline to all of the main facilities that are going to participate in this program. So part of that, they'll have tanks on site with a watering system which they'll be able to access to water their green spaces. Stage 1 is a feasibility study to ensure that the project could actually work. Stage 2 is detailed design, which is being co-funded by Council, GV Water and DELP. And stage 3 of the project is building the pipeline from the sewer treatment plant all the way through town.
So when summer starts, we've got an irrigation pump station at the back, which will pump the water via a new pipeline to town. We'll have branches to each site where there'll be a tank, and then we'll refill those tanks as they use the water to irrigate that site.
If we can use that water, we can feed all our sporting areas. That's going to be a great asset.
About a quarter of the water that the town's produced in wastewater is coming back as clean water for the irrigation of the sporting fields. So we're always going to have enough water to supply the system.
With recycled water, there can be a lot of negative connotations about it because in people's mind, they're associating recycled water with drinking raw sewage, which is absolutely not the case at all. It goes through a very rigorous treatment process before they even think about pumping it into the pipelines.
Initially, the water was going to be Class C, but GV Water have come back to us and said that they can treat the water at a very minimal cost and they can take it to a better class, which is Class B.
Class B water is an improvement on Class C, which we irrigate on our farms. The addition of the chlorine gives a disinfection and gives a kill of any germs or protozoa that may still be in that water.
It was important to us that we got buy-in from other stakeholders within our region as well. So particularly GV Water, because in the end this asset will actually vest in them and it will be theirs to own and manage. Goulburn Broken Catchment Management Authority, because for them water health is really important. We've also got obviously buy-in from all of the facilities that are going to be able to access this water.
Our hospital wants to be part of it, they want to be connected. We've got the Lions Park that want to be connected. We've got a whole precinct along the creek here. Ultimately, I think they'll be connected to it. So it's great news. We've been able to cobble together an allocation of money from GV Water and the Shire of Strathbogie, and that's allowed us to get a plan for the whole project.
Council has dedicated some funding to the initial design work so that when we can put to state and federal government for funding the actual pipeline.
It's certainly the first of its type in Victoria. This is the first one where the community is really right behind it.
It is sustainable, we're ready to go, and it's solving a problem for our town.
It really looks at the resilience of how we can better prepare our community for a changing climate.
It's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for the Water Authority. We need it. Once it's treated, we can change our total environment of our community. Totally.
a green, sustainable site will bring people to town.
We'll turn our town into a green oasis, and we'll also save 200 megalitres of potable water. How simple, how sensible.
So let's green Euroa.
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 Let's green Euroa.